Hello and welcome to Rimworld Alpha 14. I'm playing this game for a little over a year and a half, um, but it just released recently on Steam, so I wanted to make a little bit of a kind of a let's play tutorial video, just showing it off, um, because I just love it and I want to share it. And it does have a bit of a learning curve, so I thought maybe this could be helpful and get some people interested in it. So, if you're wondering what this is, it's a like right here it says a colony simulator. So it has a bit of a Firefly kind of flair, a little bit of a Western style going on. Basically, you have a set of 3 colonists who crash land on this alien world, and you have to manage the colony to survive this hostile alien planet. So let's go ahead and start a new colony. Um, right here, we're going to choose our scenario. Crash landed is the default. In the previous versions, this was the only one that was available. This was just kind of the default game. But for Alpha 14, for the Steam release, we have some new scenarios and a scenario editor, so you can completely customize how you want to play the game. You have a version here where you're like a rich guy that has a bunch of supplies and a little bit better starting research. You have a setup here where you're playing as like the natives on the planet, where you have kind of the opposite. You have more people, very low research. You can make like pemmican, and you have like torches and campfires and stuff, and your research speed is very, very slow. And you can go to the scenario editor, make your own. You can upload them to the Steam Workshop, and I think this is going to be a lot of fun. It's going to add a lot of replayability, but for now, we're just going to do the crash landed because this is sort of the default gameplay experience. So choose AI storyteller. So what this is this is an idea taken from the Left 4 Dead series, as admitted by the developer himself. That was his inspiration. It kind of makes sure that the gameplay sort of progresses from kind of an easy at the beginning, gets harder and harder. If things go really, really bad for you, it kind of takes pity on you, gives you some extra items, helps get back on your feet a little bit. If you're doing really well, it starts to hit you harder and harder. So it just keeps things interesting, makes sure things don't get dull. There's 3 different AI storytellers to choose from. Cassandra Classic is considered the default experience. We also have Phoebe Chillax here, who will she hits just as hard with the disasters and stuff like that, but it'll be more time in between events. So this is for a little bit more of a relaxed gameplay experience. And then lastly, we have Randy Random, who doesn't do all that stuff I was telling you about before. He pretty much throws things at you totally at random without consideration for how you're doing in the game. So you can be in a thunderstorm, getting raided by mechanoids at the same time as all your guys are catching malaria, and vice versa. You can get a bunch of good stuff at one time. It's completely random. I prefer Cassandra Classic, and I'm going to play on the challenge difficulty because it says right here, this is the way that Rimworld was meant to be played. But as you can see, there's a lot of different ways to play this game. If you want to just do a really relaxed game as a base builder, go for it. That's there. You can do that. But we're going to do sort of the default gameplay experience. Cassandra Classic Challenge. Let's go for it. All right. So we need to create our alien world. It gives you a seed here in case you wanted to do one you liked before. Maybe you want to share it with a friend or something like that. Whatever you want to type in here. It's the seed. Size. We're just going to use the standard, but let's go ahead and generate the world. This is our alien planet we're going to crash land on. It's called looks a Siegin Pentimus. It doesn't really matter. Here's our nice little seed here. And so let's choose where we want to crash. Where you crash definitely has a major influence on what you're going to be experiencing in the game. If you crash in the North Pole, it's going to be very cold. Average temperature, -7 degrees Fahrenheit. That's not that cold. -12. Most of our North Pole areas seem to be ocean here, just randomly. But growing period, never. Definitely going to be quite a challenge. Same thing if you crashed over here in the extreme desert. As you can see, kind of moving around here, the different values that you can choose from. We also have such biomes as, what's this, a boreal forest, arid shrubland, tropical rainforest. We're just going to go for a nice temperate forest. The tall ones, these are mountains, these are hills. Let's look for something in some small hills. This average temperature 44, maybe something a bit warmer would be nice. Maybe like in the 50s. Just kind of look around here a bit, find something. This'll do. That's large hills actually. I kind of want small hills. There we go. That's fine. I'm gonna say we're going with average temperature 46 degrees Fahrenheit. And by the way, if you like Celsius, that's an option. You can switch that. Average temperature in the winter is going to be about 22 degrees. Average temperature summer 71. This looks pretty good. We got a growing period between the 6th of spring and the 6th of fall, which is kind of small, but let's go. Let's just go. Oh, and by the way, advanced, you can change the size of the map that you're actually going to be playing on, but we're just going to stick with the standard for this game. So here's our characters that we're being given as our crash lander people. The people are survivors of the crash. These are completely randomized. So I do like to randomize these a bit just to make sure I get some of the starting skills I want. We could just go into it, but I want to make sure I got someone who's good at medicine, someone who's good at social, and someone who's good at cooking. Which it looks like we do have. We have a good doctor here. Olive Nielsen. And all these skills here, these are the different things you can do in the game. They range from 0 to 20, and the higher is the better, of course. And the level of these skills is determined by your character's backstory, which there's a childhood and an adulthood. So Olive Nielsen here, as a child, was a sickly child. There's a little bit of a description there. This gives her a minus to her melee and social, a big boost to medicine, another minus to construction, and a plus to her research skill. And adulthood nurse, more bonus to medicine. This is why she's so good at medicine. And a bonus to social, which kind of cancels out her childhood there. The flame icon determines the passion. If there's nothing, then you raise skill at a normal rate. One flame represents passion, 2 flames represents burning passion, and that just means that they will gain the skill even faster, which is a good thing. I don't know if I'm going to keep this person though, because they are incapable of violent, which is not really a good thing to start with, because you're going to have to defend your colony as you're kind of getting on your feet. So let's see, we do have another person though. I thought, yes, we have someone else who's good at medicine, but they're also incapable of scary, which I think is also means they can't do violent, which means they can't defend the base. So we really only have one person to defend. So I'm just going to randomize these a bit to get a good starting team, and then we'll get going. So randomize. We want someone who's good at medicine. This person's good. They're incapable of scary. Let's just keep going. I'm getting really unlucky here. Incapable of social. That's fine. Hard worker. Very good. Psychically deaf. That's actually quite good because there will be like weird psychic drones and stuff that make people go crazy. It's pretty good to not have to worry about that stuff. Sometimes there's good psychic things, but I would say like 85% of them are bad. So definitely a good trait to have. Capable of social, not a big deal for our doctor because we're going to have someone else that's doing that. So we're going to stick with this guy. Let's see. This person's a good chef, so we might keep them, but they're also not very good social. They can't do plant work. They can't mine. They had a childhood and adulthood as a test subject, which is kind of weird. They're trigger happy, too smart, and an optimist. I think I just want someone who can do more, not have so many things they cannot do. Sorry, I'm just gonna run through and get some people real quick. That is good at cooking. You do not have to min-max this much. You can just kind of take what the game gives you. But I do like to have some strong starting people. And I'm just getting pretty unlucky here. I might put a cut in here. This takes too long. Okay, this person looks pretty good. They're incapable of nothing. Oh, but they do have asthma. Just getting very unlucky. Capable of dumb labor. You know what? Let's go with this person. They're going to be a good chef. They have some traits, but we've spent enough time. Okay, so we got a doctor, we got a chef, and now we need someone who is going to be good at social, but can, defend. So let's see. Okay, maybe this person, Andrew Brown. Childhood of an amateur engineer and an adulthood of an aerospace engineer. So he's that means he's very good at construction, which is a good thing to have. He's good at animal. He's good at a lot of stuff. He can't grow. Do we have other people? They're really bad at growing. You're good at growing. Okay, so we have someone who can do that. Ironwield is very good. Night Owl is perfectly fine. Oh, he's old though. He's 51. It's not that old, but he has an artery blockage, which is not great. But you know what? Let's just go with it. All right, we're going to go ahead and start the game. So it's just generating the map right now. So the first three things we kind of want to get squared away are food, shelter, and security situations. So here we go. The three of you awake in your crypto-sleep sarcophagi to the sound of sirens and ripping metal. You barely get to the escape pods, but where the ship is torn apart. Sometime later, you land on this unknown Rimworld. As pieces of the shredded starship fall around you, you start making plans to survive. All right. So here come our guys coming in. Boyle. We gotta change. Okay, so I'm gonna name this person Steve. There we go. So Steve here and Boyle. And I'm going to unforbid these things, which just means that colonists are allowed to interact with them and pick them up, because we want all this wood. If you double click on an item, it will automatically select all of the same type within the screen. So all this wood, unforbid. This is some steel lying around, and we're gonna grab that as well. Unforbid. Looks like there's a little bit up here. Silver, we definitely want to unforbid that. That's sort of our currency for trading, which is very important. And let's see how we are as far as our security/military skills. Who is our best shooter? Andy here has a shooting skill of 5 and a passion for it. That's good. You are not very good at those, and you're not so great. Andy, you're our best shooter, so I'm going to give you the survival rifle. Steve here is our second best shooter, so we're going to give him the pistol. And Boyle, who kind of sucks, we're just going to give you the knife. And that should be good as far as the defense goes. So I'm just going to have it set to play. Well, first we need to kind of decide where we want our base to be. So let's look around the map, see if we can find a good defensible kind of area. This is a sort of open area. I generally like to settle in the middle-ish kind, but I mean, you know, there's nothing saying you can't settle anywhere. I might just kind of settle here and try to wall this off, which is a lot of area to wall off. But we do have some ancient kind of ruin structures here, which I think we're going to use. We can totally take these over and use these for shelter. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's say we're going to go into our orders menu here, and we're going to say claim and take this over, and we're going to take this one too. And then we're going to set a stockpile zone to put all those items in that we unforbid. If you go to storage, you can choose what you want to store in your stockpile. This is just kind of a generic one because we just kind of need to get things squared away. You don't want to leave things out in the elements because they will start to decay. And as this is like a ruin, there's like missing chunks, we need to say we're going to build a wall out of wood and just close up these little holes here, and actually instead of that one, let's put a door. Actually, let's look. We got one here, so let's put a door here. Yeah, so we're going to put a wooden door on the side of this structure, which is made of, it's a sandstone wall, which is pretty good, nice and defensible. So let's just get things going. What do we have? And we also have a pet. We have a warg, female warg, age 9, named Inessa. Pets can be really useful, especially warg, because they're quite strong, and we can train it to haul. So we're going to go ahead and queue that up, because that will be very, very nice. Oh, and here's some survival meals, which we definitely want to unforbid. And we'll also go ahead and flag these ship chunks to be deconstructed. These are just kind of random things that can appear on the map. By deconstructing them, we will get some components and steel from them, which will be useful. So what did I say? The main three things we need to get are shelter, food, and security. So kind of lucked out here with these structures for shelter. I think next we want to go ahead and get started on our food production. So for that, we're going to go again to zone area and growing zone, and just kind of maybe something in between these buildings. We'll zone, that's pretty big, but that's good. We're going to make it potatoes, which is the default. If you go down here, you can see there's a whole lot of stuff you can grow. Some of these, like the strawberries, you need a minimum skill of 5 in growing. But that should help get that taken care of. We're also going to need a stockpile for dumping. And that can just be placed in kind of an out of the way area. Right now, we'll just put it back here. And we want to store rock chunks and slag, but we don't want corpses because they will rot and people do not like to see dead bodies. If we look at a character and we go to their needs, like, let's see, you can see that this guy, he has very low expectations, which is a bonus. That's good. New colony optimism, also good. He's feeling bad and he's sick. I think these are related possibly to the crash. I'm not sure. Maybe he has crypto sleep sickness, which is another thing. I don't know if any of these people actually have that. Crypto sleep sickness. Yes, so that's why he's feeling sick. He has crypto sleep sickness, which is just he woke out of that cryopod after he crashed, and that will last a short amount of time, and that'll be fun. That's what this. If you look in the lower left, you can see what I'm mousing over down here. Vomit, because he's quite sick. So I think what we want to do now is we want to set our work priorities. So by default, it kind of manages it on its own, but if you want to get the best result, you want to turn this on, manual priorities, and set it that way. So I like to go ahead and set everybody to firefight, because if there's a fire, I definitely want that to get taken care of. Same with patient. If you're sick, please go to a hospital bed and get patched up. Bed rest, if you're tired, go to bed. Flick, what this is you know, you can tell people like turn off this device or turn on this switch. We want to just make that a priority because it doesn't happen that much, and when I want it done, I want it done right away. So those are in good shape, and now we just kind of want to make sure we have all our roles set. So this guy's our best doctor, so we want him to be the doctor. Warden, what this is to add new colonists to your colony. The way you will probably be doing it most of the time is by capturing enemies and converting them to your side, and that is a warden's job. So we definitely want to have a warden, and that is going to be Andy here, our engineer. Our cook, once again, will be Steve. Hunting, who is our best shot? Who's got the survival rifle? I don't remember. Andy has a survival rifle. He's going to be our hunter. So you're a hunter, and we can keep this on 3. That just the way it works is it goes like from left to right. It does all the 1s, then the 2s, then the 3s, then the 4s, and then anything that's not filled in, it will never do that. So for example, like Andy, it'll do Warden, it'll skip over handling, it'll try to do hunting, it'll come back around, and then it'll do any 2s, which we don't have set yet, and then it'll do all these 3s. So it'll do handling, then constructing, yada yada, down from the left to the right. Construction, very, very important. These guys have a 1, which is pretty bad, but Andy has a 7, so he's going to be our constructor. Boyle is herbalist, going to be our grower. Repair, generally I have more people on repair. I'm just going to put these at a 4 just in case they have absolutely nothing to do and we have damaged structures. It's just good to get those fixed as quick as you can. Mining, I guess you're going to be our miner. Andy is really good, and you know, some of these people are not as good. Plant cutting, only 1. That's not great. Smithing, tailoring, art, and crafts. These skills are very important later on, but right now we're just worried about getting established, so we can just kind of forget about these for the time being. And then I think we can leave everything else as it is. Andy, I think, yeah, this looks fine for now, so let's just let this go. So one thing we need to do is get our bedrooms ready. So I want to go ahead and build this other structure into our kind of like dorm sort of area. So I just said build these walls, put this door here, and I want to get some sleeping spots. These aren't actually anything you have to build, it's just kind of designating an area for people to sleep. And then I want one for our animal as well, for our warg. So that is now set. Looks like Boyle is going ahead and planting our potatoes in here, which is going to be very helpful. And what do we have here? These rocks are in a stockpile. We definitely don't want that, so haul these away. This turkey, why don't we go ahead and try and tame this guy? Because if we can get some female turkeys too, then we can get eggs, and that will be nice. Here's a turkey, a female turkey. Let's tame that. You know, this is popping up. That means there's a half of a 0.5% chance when you try to tame them that they could turn on you and attack you. So it is definitely a risk, but we do want to get some livestock going. So you can see there's all kinds of animals running around here. I think another good thing to do would be, there's a lot of wild berries, raspberry bushes. If we can just grab some of these, if we say orders, harvest, we just kind of drag, say harvest all these berry plants, and that will be good for making meals and such. So now that we have structure, we have food going. The next, well, this is kind of, we don't really have, we have food being planted, but we need to set up some stuff for hunting. And what that will entail is we're going to need to build, we're going to production, and we're going to need to make, let's make a building that we're going to have for, be like our kitchen. So, let's see, do this. Actually, I want to pause just to make sure they don't start building if I want to change my design. So this is going to be like where we're storing the meat and finished meals. And then we'll have like a little thing like this, maybe. And then an area up here. And then I think we can, yeah, that'll be pretty good. We want to put inside here a production, a butcher table, and we want to put a fueled stove. Actually, let's cancel this. I want to build the, if you just click, you can change what you're building it out of, and I want to build it out of wood because it's a little easier to come by. So, but the fueled stove, I believe it has to be made out of steel. You can see it's going to cost 80 steel, and we're going to put that up here. And then let's designate some doors. So let's just put one on either side. Let's put one here, here, and here. And the reason I'm doing this is I'm kind of making this like a bit of an airlock into this area, because I'm going to make this a walk-in freezer. And just having a space here prevents all the cold air from exiting this area. You lose less temperature from people walking in and out, getting meat and stuff like that. So that being said, let's go ahead and zone this area as a stockpile for food. If we click it, storage, clear all, we want foods, which will give us meals and raw foods. And we're going to also say we want animal corpses in here so that when we hunt like rabbits or something, they go in here and they won't spoil. And then we also want to go over to this stockpile and say, do not store any food in here. Yes, don't store food. We want the food to go into the other area. Actually, this food you can store in here. If we go to meals, you can store survival meals because they do not rot. They do not need to be refrigerated, so we don't need to store those in here. All right, let's get going. So this is just kind of designating walls, but we also want to go ahead and just say, let's get rid of all the plants. I'm going to orders, cut plants, just get rid of all the grass and trees in here. And we also, I'm just going to say haul all this, haul all this. I just want to get out of the way. People walk slower when they're walking over rocks and stuff. And I also would like to say chop wood in this area. All these little things mean that these are designated for wood cutting. So now people are gone to bed, so let's see kind of how people are doing. They're not happy right now because they're having to share a bedroom and they're sleeping on the floor. They've also had disturbed sleep. Probably someone was going in and out when this person was sleeping, which is not ideal. If we take a look at our stocks, he's hungry, but we do have food, so as soon as he wakes up, I'm sure he'll go grab a meal. So we don't have to be too concerned about that right now. So let's look at the next person. Slept on the ground, shared a... this person was insulted. So if we go to social, we can see that he was recently slighted by Boyle. It was insulted by Boyle. So yeah, maybe Boyle is kind of like an abrasive type. Well, he's mute, so I guess he gave him the finger. Anyway, let's see. So you slept on the ground, disturbed sleep, slept in the cold. It is 51 degrees in here, which is pretty chilly. So if we go to temperature, we don't have electricity yet, but we can go ahead and designate a fire to be built in here, campfire. And you can see that red area that's highlighted. That means that that area is going to be where the temperature is taking effect. So let's go ahead and designate this area to have a campfire. And I just realized I've been recording for about half an hour now, so I'm going to go ahead and put a cut in this video. If you're enjoying this, I'm going to have another one after this. I'm going to have some more. I would really like to show the raids system. People are coming in. And just get things more established. How the food works, how you make meals, and hunt. And we also need to get some security up. Get some walls, probably block this off, and kind of try to make like block, make this a big compound that will be more defensible. So, but thank you for watching, and that's it for this video. So thank you.